4, 3, 2, 1.
Studio Classroom is
Record.
Studio Classroom. Studio Classroom.
Please stand by.
A classroom. Studio Classroom. Studio Classroom. Studio Classroom.
Studio Classroom is on the air.
Hey everyone, welcome to Studio Classroom on the air. This is the place to come when you want to have some fun. My name is Rebecca. Now yesterday we started learning about guide dogs and how they are working dogs. Guide dogs are very smart. They learn to locate seats, destinations, and even negotiate obstacles. Well, today's lesson is called Guide Dogs Are Working Dogs. And some of the things that you are going to learn about today include temperament. What does that mean? You will find out. And the phrase willing to please. Friends, open up your magazines to today's lesson and let's get started. Come with me.
Guide dogs are working dogs. In addition to being trainable, guide dogs must have the appropriate temperament. They must be confident, smart, friendly, adaptable, and willing to please. So not all of the puppies end up working in this capacity. It is of the greatest importance that nobody interferes with a guide dog while it's working. Once, a guide dog led its user too near an MRT track and she fell on it. Was it bad training? No. The dog was trying to avoid other passengers who kept following him, wanting to play.
Hi everyone, welcome to Language Lab. 首先我们看的是 adaptable 这个形容词。我们看到这个字里面有 adapt 适应这个动词，加上 able 这个代表能够的这个字尾，意思就是指能适应的、有适应力的，或者是适应性强的。例如 as a flight attendant, you need to be adaptable when trying to fulfill passengers' needs. 身为一位空服员，你必须要有好的适应力，试着去满足乘客不时的需求。Adaptable 后面也可以加上介系词 to， 再加上要适应的事物。例如 This multi-function jacket is adaptable to different weather conditions. 这件多功能夹克可以适用于各种天候状况。接下来我们看的是 interfere 这个动词 ，INTER 这个字首有两者之间的意思，所以 interfere 在这里是指打扰或妨碍。如果要说明妨碍什么的话，是用 with 这个介系词。例如 The loud music from next door really interfered with my studies. 隔壁传来的音乐很大声，真的妨碍到我读书。Interfere 也指干预或干涉。例如 We should stop interfering and leave this couple alone to solve their problems by themselves. 我们应该停止干涉，让这对夫妻自行去解决他们的问题。或者是 I think it's unwise to interfere in other departments' business. 我觉得去干涉别的部门的事是相当不智的。
Well, we are back today to talk about guide dogs. Isn't that right? So let's get right into our lesson. We read, in addition to being trainable, guide dogs must have the appropriate temperament. You know, Gabe, something that I think is really fascinating is that in our lesson we're talking about guide dogs. Mm-hmm. But have you ever heard the phrase seeing eye dog?
Yeah, I have. That's what I was thinking about when I was reading about guide dogs. They are seeing eye dogs, right?
Well, they are a type of seeing eye dog, yes. But okay, let's clarify the difference between a seeing eye dog and a guide dog.
Okay.
Only dogs that are trained by Seeing Eye Incorporated in Morristown, New Jersey are actually called seeing eye dogs.
What?
So, seeing eye dog is a registered trademark.
So they have to be trained by that certain organization or company to be called a seeing eye dog? I didn't even know there was a company called Seeing Eye Incorporated.
Well, now you do. So, I guess we could say seeing eye dogs are guide dogs, but not all guide dogs are seeing eye dogs.
Oh,
Get it?
it reminds me of other brand names that we use to talk about those products. So, for example, Kleenex actually is a brand name, but it's a brand name of tissues, right? But someone might say, could you please pass me a tissue? Or they could also say, could you please pass me a Kleenex, even if it's not a tissue made by that brand. So some people talk about seeing eye dogs, and what they mean is guide dogs.
Exactly. So guide dogs must have the appropriate temperament. Now we want to talk about this word temperament. What does that refer to? Well, that just refers to how well-behaved a dog is. Well, not just a dog, anybody really. And it refers to how well they respond to things and how well they can react.
That's right. And sometimes we use this word to mean personality or something like that. So someone has a temperament. We all have different temperaments, right? Someone could be social, someone could be independent, someone could be detail-oriented or decisive. These are all characteristics or adjectives that describe someone's temperament. And I want to say, if you add the letters AL to this word, it becomes temperamental. That's an adjective. And that word means moody, especially emotionally moody. You never know what kind of mood they're going to be in if they're a temperamental person.
That's right. And sometimes I try to avoid people who can be temperamental because I never know how they will react to something. Well, back to our guide dogs. They must have an appropriate temperament. They must be confident, smart, friendly, adaptable, and willing to please. So, not all of the puppies end up working in this capacity. Now, let's talk about this phrase, willing to please. If you're willing to please someone, this means that you have this desire to make others happy.
That's right. And that reminds me of the phrase people pleaser. Are you a people pleaser? Sometimes I am. That means I try too hard to please other people. Or another way to say it, I try too hard to make sure that everybody is okay with how I'm doing or how I'm acting or what I'm saying, right? Well, dogs or guide dogs should be willing to please. And there's a difference between being a people pleaser and just someone who is willing to please other people. Rebecca, are you willing to please other people?
I do like to please people, but sometimes I do err on being a people pleaser. And so that's something that I'm working on because the truth is, you're not going to make everyone happy. You make some people happy, well, then you'll make other people unhappy. So you really don't want to be too much of a people pleaser.
That's true, but it's a good idea to want to be willing to please, or another word we could use is eager. I'm eager to please, and we are eager to teach you here at Studio Classroom. We read on here, it is of the greatest importance that nobody interferes with a guide dog while it's working, because guide dogs are working dogs.
And there's something else that I would like to add there.
What's up?
It's also very important that you don't interfere with a puppy that's in training, because a puppy that's in training is not a guide dog. It's a guide dog in training.
Okay.
And so if you see someone raising a puppy, or if they have their vest on, don't interfere with the training.
That's a good reminder, Rebecca. We read on here, once a guide dog led its user too near an MRT track and she fell on it. We read, was it bad training? No, the dog was trying to avoid other passengers who kept following him, wanting to play. Bad passengers.
Those bad passengers and that dog, I guess he was just trying to do his job. Well, this gives us a really good illustration as to why you should not try to play with dogs that are working. Well, Gabe, I think right now it's time for everyone and their dog to go do something different.
Okay, so everyone and their dogs should go to the
Info Cloud.
Hello everyone, welcome to InfoCloud. Carolyn, what would you like to talk about today?
Well, I was thinking about feedback. Feedback is important for growth and development, but some days it feels like everyone and their dog has an opinion.
I know what you mean. And I love the way Carolyn described a lot of people doing something. This is a very informal way to say that a lot of people are participating in something.
Usually we mean it to say that too many people are doing something. It's not just that everyone has an opinion, but their dog has an opinion too.
That's a good point. Usually this expression means that something is overdone or done by too many people.
Everyone and their dog will be downtown to watch the fireworks for New Year's Eve. I'd rather have a small celebration with friends.
This is a form of hyperbole, which is a figure of speech that uses exaggeration to express a point. For example, I am so hungry, I could eat a horse.
A horse is quite large, so you must be really hungry if you think you can eat one by yourself.
今天又要来谈一个跟狗狗有关的用语。每次听到这句非正式的惯用语，就觉得很想笑。Everyone and their dog， 每一个人和他的狗，听起来很热闹，但其实是指很多人，包括相干或不相关的人。例如 ，Everyone and their dog had an opinion at the meeting。开会的时候，不止每一个人有意见，连带来的狗都有意见。当然，这是一种很夸张的表达方式。这句话真正的意思是说，会议中每个人都有意见，包括张三李四不相干的人，来代表太多人参与同一件事情，反而会制造混乱，而不是真的有人带狗来。这就是今天的 Info Cloud， 我们下次再见。
Studio Classroom.
Studio Classroom is on the air.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Studio Classroom, where we are learning about guide dogs. Now, we already learned that guide dogs must have a good temperament and they must be willing to please. But how much does it cost to prepare a guide dog for service? Well, we're going to learn about that now.
Guide dogs are working dogs. It takes about 1 million NT dollars to get a guide dog ready for service. Food, worm and flea treatments, and vet checkups all add up. Dogs are provided to users for free, so sponsors and volunteers are key to enabling this program to exist. While more than 600 guide dogs are needed around the island, less than 40 are currently working in Taiwan. Hui Guang's program has been recognized by the International Guide Dog Federation since 2006. Every 5 years, the Federation checks Hui Guang's program to make sure it meets all international standards.
OK， 继续我们看 vet 这个名词 ，vet 是 veterinary V-E-T-E-R-I-N-A-R-Y 兽医这个字的简写。例如 ，the farmer called the vet because his cow was having difficulty giving birth。这位农夫打电话给兽医，因为他的母牛难产。Vet 也指兽医诊所。例如 ，Nancy took her dog to a nearby vet to get it vaccinated。Nancy 带她的狗去附近一家兽医诊所去打疫苗。Vet 也可以是退伍军人 veteran V-E-T-E-R-A-N 这个名词的简称， 例如 Many vets attended the ceremony to commemorate the great general. 许多退伍老兵都来参加这个仪式，纪念这位伟大的将军。最后我们看 federation 这个名词 FEDE 这个字根也有联盟的意思，所以 federation 是指联盟、联邦或者是社团或组织的联合会。例如 several federations united during the event to demand for better working conditions. 在这个会议中，好几个联合会结合在一起，要求更好的工作环境。或者是 The Chechen Republic belongs to the Russian Federation. 车臣共和国隶属于俄罗斯联邦国。它的形容词是 federal, F-E-D-E-R-A-L. 例如 a federal government 是指联邦政府，或者是 a federal agency 是指联邦政府的机构。And now let's get back to our teachers.
So how much does it cost to get a guide dog ready for service? Well, our lesson says it takes about 1 million NT dollars to get a guide dog ready for service. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I had no idea that it took that much just to train one dog, right?
Right, exactly. That's one dog. Well, let's see what this cost covers. Food, worm and flea treatments, and vet checkups all add up.
Oh, so it's not all at once. You're not paying one time for the guide dog's services or training.
Well, no, this is over time.
Okay.
Or this is, over 2 or 3 years before the guide dog actually becomes a service dog.
I see.
While it's in training, because all those different expenses add up. Now let's take a look at this phrase that you see on the screen, to add up. This just means that something increases until there is a larger number or a larger amount.
And we usually use this phrase when talking about expenses of some kind, right? For example, your travel expenses when you go on a trip, you might pay a little bit here for transportation, a little bit here for food and something else, but everything adds up and you might realize later that you paid a lot of money. But you can use this phrase to talk about other things that add up. Bill wasn't happy with his job, The working atmosphere wasn't great. His salary wasn't great. The transportation was inconvenient. All of these things added up until he finally quit.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's sad.
And that happens sometimes because things do add up. Well, friends, practice using that phrase. We continue on. Dogs are provided to users for free. That is, the people who need the dogs. So sponsors and volunteers are key to enabling this program to exist. Now let's take a look at this word sponsor. Now a sponsor is someone or an organization that supports a person, an individual person, or they support an organization by giving them money, encouragement, or other help.
And it's often done in return for something, for example, advertising, right? So, for example, Nike has sponsored many athletes throughout the years. Okay, so that means they give their shoes and their clothes to these basketball players or other people to wear. And of course, that's free advertising for Nike as well. You can see that these people are wearing Nike clothes, right? So Nike is a sponsor. It's a company that sponsors athletes.
That's right. And of course, in our lesson, we're also talking about volunteers. So we need sponsors, people who are willing to contribute something to this program. And of course, volunteers, people who are willing to help out and raise a puppy. While more than 600 guide dogs are needed around the island, less than 40 are currently working in Taiwan. So there's a big need.
That's right. There's a lack of guide dogs here in Taiwan. We read here more about this organization, Huiguang. Huiguang's program has been recognized by the International Guide Dog Federation since 2006. And that's very important because we read on here that they have met international standards. Every 5 years, the Federation checks Huiguang's program to make sure it meets all international standards.
And right now, we're going to take a look at that phrase, to meet a standard. Now, if you meet a standard, this means that you fulfill the necessary requirements that are needed to do something.
And so a company might have standards. Hopefully your company has high standards. Individual people also have standards. So for example, you might be working for somebody and you didn't do everything they expected, and you might say, I'm sorry, I could not meet your standards.
Exactly. Well, you know one thing that we have here at Studio Classroom that definitely meets our standard?
Yeah, every lesson we have a
review skit.
Jasper, go. Stop. Jasper, sit.
What are you doing with Jasper?
I'm training her to become a guide dog.
A guide dog for the visually impaired?
Yes, she'd be a great guide dog, right?
Well, hey, a person's very life depends on their guide dog. They need to go through a detailed training program.
Oh, how detailed?
Pretty detailed. At the Huiguang Guide Dog School in Taiwan, they actually start when they're puppies.
Little puppies?
Yes, puppies that are specially bred over there.
Specially bred?
Yeah, the puppies are raised by families for about a year.
A whole year?
That's right. And during that time, the pups get used to humans. They become housebroken and well socialized. And they only learn to eat dog food.
Only dog food? Oh, Jasper, you wouldn't like that.
Well, after a year, the pups return to the school for 1 to 2 years of assessment and training.
1 or 2 more years?
That's right. They learn to negotiate obstacles and encounter spotlights and traffic.
So guide dogs need to be trainable.
That's right. In addition, they must have the appropriate temperament. They need to be confident, smart, friendly, adaptable, and willing to please.
Oh, it takes a very special dog.
Oh, exactly.
I'm sorry, Jasper. You can't be a guide dog after all.
Well, she is still a very special dog.
That's true. You're my dog. Good girl.
Are you interested in helping someone in need? Are you interested in doing something that could change someone's life? Well, you just might be interested in raising a seeing eye puppy.
That's right. So friends, remember to check out Huiguang Guide Dog School, Taiwan, because they need a lot more dogs, a lot more guide dogs who are trained to help the 600 people who need guide dogs here on this island. So friends, this is something that you might want to consider.
Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you next time right here on Studio Classroom.
A friend gives at all times. A friend cares at all times. A friend endures at all times. A good friend lasts a lifetime. I am so proud to have you in my life. A good friend lasts a lifetime.